All right, let's do a video on how to create insane levels of focus. So I'm talking about being able to focus and work on things in your day for like 6, 8+ hours. And this is insane for most people to even comprehend. And it's funny because some people think they are focusing and doing productive work or needle moving tasks, but they're actually just focused on busy work. They're just spinning their wheels. They're finding tasks that don't really move them forward, but they feel busy and they feel productive. So it's kind of like almost like a red herring. So I want to give you some tips in this video on how to focus for 8+ hours a day, right? So a bit of personal experience from me. I did a lot of studying and development into my own focus in copywriting like 5 or 6, 7 or even 8 years ago actually, and started to become quite obsessed in how I could achieve more in less time, rather than just being distracted and just focusing on busy work and making progress. But being able to focus, you can almost like put how much work you're able to achieve on turbo mode. It's like really interesting and really key for you to understand how to be able to focus for long periods of time. So there's a lot of people that will say, focus in short stints. I believe being able to focus for 8+ hours a day, or just focus, create more focus and become more productive than you are now, is to think about your focus level as a muscle that needs to be trained. So like we would go to the gym, we would do push-ups, squats, we would do exercises to increase the size and strength of our muscles. And the focus is like a muscle, so it needs to be trained. And the best place I would start is by eliminating distractions. So what is a distraction? A distraction is anything that takes your focus off the task you're focusing on, right? It sounds really simple. So you're focusing on a piece of copy, or you're focused on doing outreach to potential clients, or whatever your current main task is for the day or for this set period of time. That's all you do. You don't have any distractions that could easily pull you away from the main task. So this could be a phone with social media. It could be having multiple tabs open on your desktop. These things all sound really simple, but I can almost guarantee you're doing some of them, and it's sucking your focus and how much you're able to achieve. It's just literally sucking it away and evaporating it. And once you implement like distraction elimination by like only having open, say, the tabs that are necessary on your computer to do the work you need to do, or on your phone, then you are way less likely to be like this squirrel that just jumps around from thing to thing and being distracted, because it takes a good 15 minutes to half an hour for your brain to actually get into gear and focus on the task at hand. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, like, if you start a task or working on something, and then you're in this really focused mindset, to get into that focused mindset in this flow state, it takes a good 15 or 20 minutes. You don't just start doing work and you're in this flow state. It takes time for your mind to get into this state, right? So then if you get distracted while you're in this state, you can't just quickly just jump back into it. You have to go through this process, which is like subconscious, to get back into it. And it's the same when you are switching tasks. Like if you are focused on one task and then you switch, you don't just switch and go into a focused state from this other task. It takes you another 20 minutes or another half an hour to get into things, which then uses up your time and your energy. Which is why I'm super, super passionate about talking about things like this and identifying the key needle moving tasks that will move your business or progress forward, right? So if it is, if you are watching this and you are looking to become a freelance copywriter, right, there's some key things within that, like that you need to focus on. We've got outreach, obviously. You could say learning copywriting is a pillar of becoming a freelance copywriter. Fulfilling work for clients. 3 key pillars, right? And you say, for example, if you've identified that, right, for this next 2 hours, I'm going to focus on outreaching to clients. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to focus on doing the fulfillment for clients. That's going to be in a later session, so I'm just adjusting my camera. And you want to be able to focus just on that. Not jump around from doing some outreach, doing some fulfillment, doing some learning copywriting. Like, identify key blocks in your day where you're going to focus on different things. And have strategic breaks in between those blocks where you shift from task to task. Because when you walk away from a task, if you go and do a lot of work and you walk away from it, it gives your brain time to stew things over. This is what I've learned anyway, and I've found that your subconscious mind can hold so many more thoughts and ideas and work on so many different things, whereas your conscious mind can only focus on a handful at once. So if you're trying to work harder all the time, it's not the answer. Like, even giving yourself strategic time away from the task you're doing, you could class that as work, because your subconscious is working overtime on the things that you've given it. And if you've noticed that, when you feel that you're not on the brink of burnout, but you do a lot of work, and you're like, Christ, I need to take a break. You take a break, you go and play with the dog, you go and do something completely different that is not related to the task you're doing. And then you come back, or even out while you're doing whatever you're doing, having a break, you have all these ideas that just come flooding to you, which you didn't have when you were sat there consciously focused on the task. That's your subconscious mind at work. So, another thing as well, distraction, video games, social media, just removing these things, or at least having a very clear time that you are playing video games or on social media is very defined. It doesn't interact with your needle moving important tasks to get work done, right? So that's the first step to improving focus, removing all distractions. Then we've got setting clear intentions before working. So I kind of just talked about this a little bit, in that you want to pick specific outcomes and tasks that you will focus on in a work block. Don't just go hell for leather and work on whatever is in front of you. Tell yourself, and even write down, right, I'm going to work on this to get me to my goal. I'm going to work on outreaching to 10 clients and send 10 meaningful messages today in this work block. I'm going to work on focusing on the principles of copywriting. I'm going to read 10 pages of a book, something like that. And one thing I used to use and found really helpful was using a timer, right? And timer works very cleverly in the fact that it gives you a countdown and something to work towards. And it gives you this sense of focus, which it did for me anyway. And I used to set my time for about half an hour blocks. And in that half an hour, I wouldn't be on my phone, I wouldn't be distracted on social media, I would be just focused on the work at hand. That's all I'd be doing. So if I was writing some copy, like I said before, I would only have the tabs open on my computer that I needed, that were necessary to get that task done. I'd have maybe some music on in the background, some beats that help me focus, or even some headphones. But a timer really does help, and I think there's something online you can find called a tomato timer, which is like a plugin or like a thing that sits on your desktop, and you can use that. And you can also use these other different apps that get rid of all the unnecessary clutter off your desktop, which again just creates this really focused space for you. And it probably works on a phone as well. And then what you want to do is start off small. Don't just jump in and say to yourself, I'm going to try and focus for 2, 3, 4 hours in one go. It won't happen. I personally like working in small blocks. Half an hour block, 15-minute break. Half an hour block, 15-minute break, and so on throughout the day. That's how I like to work. Your blocks of time might be different than mine, but a bit of advice, I would just not start off too big and just get used to increasing the size of your focus work blocks until you've improved it over time. Again, just like a muscle. You just add more difficulty as it goes, but then because you're getting more skilled, you get better anyway. Another thing to talk about here as well is that you can apply. I'm not really a big video game guy anymore, but I used to play Xbox and stuff like that, and I found them so addictive because of this video game, how they were built. So there were levels, there were bosses, there were things you could build. It was very addictive. And you can apply these video game strategies, to measure your progress and stay motivated as a copywriter or in anything. So can you log results? Can you track results? Like, how many videos did you make today? How many outreaches did you do? How many personal messages did you send? And you can see this on a chart or a graph, and you can see your progress, if it's consistent, if it's going up, if it's going down, whatever. Right? I think that is the thing that will keep your motivation and inspiration high all the time and give you momentum. Because I've always said that momentum is the biggest thing, the biggest driver to success. When I have momentum, nothing stops me. When I lose momentum, I feel like I'm in this pit of despair. So if you can do like short cycles and also have rewards built in, so whether that is like a few hours going mountain biking or doing your favorite sport, or I don't know, whatever a treat would be for you, that just keeps you coming back for more, that is how you keep motivation high and increase your focus. And so you're at a point where you can focus so much more than you're currently doing. Because I can almost guarantee if you're watching this far in this video, fantastic, you've also proven you can watch 11 minutes into a video and stay focused. But also you want to improve your focus, right? And I can guarantee if you implement some of the things I've talked about in this video, your focus levels and the time you're able to focus will dramatically increase, which will then dramatically increase the amount of results you're able to gain in a shorter period of time. And most people can't get to this point because they're so sporadic. They do different things. They focus on things at such a surface level. They don't get into this deep work state, which is where the real progress happens. So I hope this was useful. These are little tips to significantly increase your productivity and success, especially in copywriting, but you can apply it to everything. If you've got any comments on this sort of topic or you want me to make more videos on this, drop them in the comments below and I will see you in the next video.